welcome everybody to another installment of Test Chamber. I'm Matt Miller. I am joined by Javy Gwaltney.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. So I see you finally jumped on the For Honor train.
Well, you know, I had yet to play any of For Honor personally.
Mm-hmm.
We've covered it in preview several times, and I just didn't know what to make of it exactly. It reminded me, when I looked at it, a little too much of Dynasty Warriors, and I'm not too much of a Dynasty Warriors guy.
Right. It does seem...
There's not too many people who are, to be fair.
It does suggest that at first glance. I was kind of in the same boat, but then when you play it, you realize, oh, this is actually a tactical game.
Yeah, this is a game. I have not played a game in a long time that there is such a dramatic gulf between the experience of watching it and playing it. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to talk a little bit about playing it today, even though our kind viewers out there are only going to be able to see it. So okay, here we are. We've got character selection here. This is the first big thing that people get a chance to make some choices around. I'm going to pick the Nobushi, who is the one of the characters that hasn't been seen yet until this beta, at least what I've understood about it.
Yeah, the old version that I played, the preview version, this class was locked. It was one of the only locked ones that was left.
So she has this big spear that she runs around the battlefield with, and she's hard to play. They even say so. So as a novice already at this game, and then picking up the hard class, not to mention the fact that I'm going to be trying to communicate ideas to you. You should all expect this is going to be really good, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm really going to crush it here.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it looks like Dynasty Warriors at first glance. I totally get that. That's completely what I thought. But once you start playing it, you realize that it actually has it reminds me a good bit of something like Dark Souls, actually.
Right.
Where the precision of control, and the degree to which you need to be paying attention to positioning and the directions that you're attacking from, all those sorts of issues are really important here.
Right.
And it adds a kind of like tactical layer, like you said, to the combat.
Yeah, there are stances. You've got to know when to block and when to parry. It is very sort of Dark Souls-esque in that way. And other players can be a nightmare. Like, it just the learning curve in this game is, I wouldn't call it like super steep for a long time, but there is like the first hour, it's rough.
Yes, I would agree.
Like, you get your butt handed to you no matter what.
Yep. I mean, I've played probably an hour and a half at this point, trying out with different character classes and that kind of thing, and it's just hard.
Yep.
Now, they do some things to help make it a little bit more doable to tackle for the first time for newcomers, because you can do what I'm doing right now and try to kind of get in and just take control zones. Right? Not to mention the fact that there are these kind of minion characters. There we go.
Yeah, there are minion characters running around you can just chop through.
Right.
That are basically like the equivalent of Titanfall 2's grunts.
Right. And that's a way that you can get points, and you can kind of clear the main center zone. So I ran off to one of the side zones, but there's always like a big battle between the minions going on down here in the main area. So check it out. So I'm basically just kind of button mashing at this point. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. But it's not, I mean, like, I'm not doing anything particularly sophisticated other than making the choice to come here and do this.
Right.
Right? Like, that's important because we need to take this zone.
This is where the game is at its most Dynasty Warriors-esque.
Yes.
But that's pretty much where that ends. Like,
agreed.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that, like, the guys with the little emblems over their head can participate in the, you know, like, when I'm down here fighting these guys, the big actual player-driven characters with emblems over their head can interrupt my slashing through of their minions.
Right.
And wreck me really quick. An actual bad guy can kill me almost instantaneously if I'm not paying attention.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes they're really hard to see. They just blend in if you're not looking at the emblem. Like, I've had that several times where I just got destroyed, and I couldn't figure out why.
Right. Oh, that's my guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't kill him
That's your
anymore.
fella. He's a funny-looking fella, but he's your fella.
He's my fella. All right, let's see what else we've got. We've got A zone that's been retaken, so I'm gonna head up there if I can after we.
But yeah,
try to kill
Dominion,
this guy.
which is the mode that Miller's playing right now, is basically just control the points. Ooh,
Oh, look at that!
that was a
brutal
nice
kill.
strike. Oh no! Yeah,
Now this is kind of interesting. If he does that execution, you'll note that there's actually a penalty for me in my respawn. There's 3 extra seconds that I've got to wait before I come back.
right. And also, if they don't execute you, you can someone can bring you
revived.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
a teammate can revive you. But I found out that once you've mastered that strong attack, finishing, because it's teaching you to do combos with that you'll finish with like a strong attack, because that's the only way you can do a real execution.
Right.
Once players are adept, you will pretty much, unless they're surrounded, there's pretty much never an occasion where you won't be executed. It's rare.
Yeah. So I'm just going to take this zone quick. You can kind of see there's this weird give and take between the importance of taking zones and just taking out the other team.
Right.
Right. You can effectively like let the other team control a lot of the damage dealing. If you take all the zones and then there's a thing that sort of triggers that their army breaks. Right?
Right.
And you can kind of pull them away. Similarly, you can let the other team take a bunch of the areas, but if you're doing a lot of kills, then you're in okay shape.
Right. So let's get down to the nitty gritty
Yeah.
a little bit, just for players who are viewers who are interested in the beta, but they don't know if they want to go to the trouble of downloading. How does it feel to move? Because that's one of my favorite things about this game so far, is it just feels like there's weight to your characters, there's heft. You actually feel like you're controlling a body in a space, and a lot of games can't pull that off that well.
Yeah, I agree. It does feel good. It also, for some people, I think, is because it has that weightiness. I think a lot of us, especially who play a lot of single-player action games, are used to being these kind of like superheroes who go, your movement takes priority over all things.
Right.
In a single-player third-person action game, right? Like if you think about something like God of War, you just wreck everything, right? Like everything either gets out of your way or you kill it.
Right.
That's not necessarily the case here. Where, if I just run into this group of guys, they're kind of blocking me, right? I need to like swipe through them and take some time to deal with it. And similarly, if I run straight up to one of the main bad guys, like one of the other players, and try to and try to just run past them, I'm probably gonna die. I need to when I see them here, I kind of need to spend the time to work on them.
Absolutely.
The other thing that gives that sense of weight and importance to your movement and your actions is that everything is directional, right? And I don't know how much you can kind of see if you're watching what I was doing there when I fought that other player, but I'm actually controlling the facing of my weapon for how I dodge, right? So if he's coming in from one side, like he's attacking from the right, I need to be having my weapon face in that direction, or else I don't block the attack. And so that's what you were talking before about when you get into a big scrum, that makes it really hard to tell what's even happening. Because you can have somebody, like one of these big bad guys, swinging at you and he's attacking from the left, and you can't even really see that that's happening.
Right.
And that's tricky. I find, generally speaking, when you want to get into those duels, you actually almost want to be by yourself or like separated from the group if you want to be able to pay attention and do well in that duel. So I'm actually, my team's going to hate me, but I'm going to just sit here for a second and kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So I'm holding down the guard button I'm pressing up on the right stick right now.
Oh,
Well, there we go. So we win. Whereas, like, now I'm guarding to my left. Mm-hmm. These are all different positions that determine how I'm going to, how things are going to kind of shake out.
Right.
When I'm in a duel. And then I have both a light attack and a heavy attack that can be coming in from any direction as well. Mm-hmm. As such, the battles are pretty complicated.
Yeah, it's not a game where you can run around and just kill things. Was my biggest surprise playing it.
Yeah, I mean, you can, but you're probably not. You're not going to be. Yeah, you're not going to win the game for your team that way.
Right, and you'll probably just get killed doing that.
Right.
Yeah, it's useless. If you want to win, that's not a thing you can do.
Right.
Right.
So I want to back out here to the world map and talk about a couple other things that I think are kind of interesting about this game. There are these different types of game modes that we can play. We were just in a 4v4 Dominion match, which I think it's fair to say is sort of the main mode.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But you also can do a 2v2 brawl, which is just, there's no minions around. You're just having, like, you and a teammate take on one other guy. Two other guys. And so if you finish off your guy first, then you can go and help your friend. And that's really interesting. You also have 1v1 duels, and then there's events which aren't open for the beta, which presumably is going to be one of the aspects of the game about how it's this sort of living game, which is the other thing that I want to kind of like touch on here as we look at this map. The idea is that over the course of like different sessions and seasons, eventually seasons, which I think they've said are going to be 10 weeks long,
right?
The map of this battle between the samurai, the Vikings, and the knights?
Yeah, medieval knights.
The medieval knights is going to shift, right? And there's actually they'll actually write storyline that connects to, like, you know, okay, the samurai did this in the last season and retook these zones and that kind of thing. Yeah. And I think that has the potential to be really fun to follow, just as you're kind of engaging with everything.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful about that, because when they were showing us the game and that we were previewing it and they were telling us all about the metagame season stuff, I was like, oh, this could be fascinating. This could be fun. This could be a way to draw in people who love following storylines. But it's one of those things, like, can they pull it off? So we'll have to see. Like, and it's not something you can tell at launch either. You have to wait, 10 weeks or maybe even 20 weeks to see, give it 2 seasons.
Totally.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I like here is the idea that there is a sort of progression loop of sorts here. You have these different character classes that you play, and as you play them, you level them up individually. You get new equipment for them. Not to mention the fact that they play differently, right? Like, I just came in here with the assassin, which is a not so subtle nod to one of Ubisoft's other franchises, I think. This guy, this character in the hood over here that I'm playing with, each one of them has a different range and different styles of attack and different special things that they can do. I think it'll be interesting for people to kind of learn and find favorites among the different types. Even though you pledge yourself to one of the 3 factions, you can actually play any of the classes, which I think actually was a pretty smart move.
Oh, Miller.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Oh, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, nice dodge. Oh, at the last. Yes.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, now I got to go.
Yeah.
And my buddy already finished off his guy, so we just won that round. That was pretty good.
That was good.
Here's my assassin.
Nice. Showing him off or showing her off.
Yeah. So I think the way they do is they kind of trade it off. So I fought the one guy last time. Now I'm fighting the other guy on the team. Oh, that was tricky.
Yeah, the problem with this class is reach.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be super close and be willing to take risk, and sometimes that just doesn't pan out. Oh, this is tense. Oh, yeah, you can throw them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite strategies during my preview, was just during the duel games, was just to get someone's stamina down and then throw them off the ledge. One more hit.
I know.
See, it's super tactical, and I love it. I love this so much, because this could easily be a chop fest. Oh, no!
Shoot. He got me.
Yeah. He earned that one.
He did. He did indeed.
Oh, no. Our buddy died.
Now, one of the things you can do in this mode that I think is kind of interesting is you can actually abandon your sort of designated fight, and you can go look for the other fight.
And join it, yeah. Gang up on them and then turn. Oh, yeah, that's...
Which is dangerous.
Oh, no.
Right? Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Oh, no. Oh. Your stamina.
I know.
Oh, no. Miller. Oh,
I don't think
buddy.
this one's meant to be.
Oh, man.
I was hoping that we'd get to see a pretty awesome, like, execution of me there.
Oh, yeah, because that...
Every once in a while, there's, like, a two-person, like, execution.
It's just it's brutal.
Gruesome. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a game of dismemberment and decapitations and disembowelment. A lot of D words. Oh, he went for a hard strike and that didn't pan out. Ooh, nice.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but every class has, like, its special abilities and certain strategies you utilize. Oh.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, there it goes.
There.
Oh. Wow. But it's super difficult, especially when you're jumping from class to class to find the rhythm of each one.
Yeah.
I feel like. But that's also exciting.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it feels almost not like an entirely new game when you're playing as a different class for the first time.
Sure.
But it's a different experience. It's a vastly different experience.
Totally. Well, I think that gives us a pretty good sense. I wanted to show both the like big, massive game modes, but also kind of these smaller things. As I said, this is in closed beta right now, but it's coming out pretty soon. It's coming out in February.
Right, on Valentine's Day.
I know. You can play this with your sweetheart.
Yeah.
So I have rapidly moved from a pretty tepid, like, I don't know if I'm going to play this game, to like, I really like For Honor.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be one people should be watching.
I agree. As someone who's previewed this game twice before, the beta, I'm also excited about the single player content because I got to play
there's a whole campaign.
levels. Yeah, and they were good. Like they were really, really good. So I'm hopeful for this game.
That's very cool. Well, that'll be it for now. But keep an eye out. We will certainly be reviewing For Honor very soon, I think it's one, even if you are looking at it and it's not totally doing it for you, try to find a way to play a little bit of this before you make a decision if you're going to pick it up or not. Because I think it's once you have the controller in your hands, it's a very different experience.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time on Test Chamber.
Right, bye.